Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Blueprint Podcast. My name is Gary, I'm going to be your host. The Blueprint is all about teaching people how to be better at marketing. We do online webinars, we have in real life events, and obviously we have this podcast, and each episode we have a different guest. And today I'm joined by Richard from Spotler. Richard, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Cool, no, thanks for joining. So what do you do? Who do you work for? What does Spotler do? Give me your sales spiel.
Everything. So Spotler, a marketing automation platform, and the idea of that is coming together very rapidly, and it's improved a lot since I've been with the business 5 years, and we're making really big strides towards this vision, which is one software platform where you can do everything marketing. That is, you're sharing out, you're doing your distribution for your content, tracking the people that come to your website off it, personalizing the website to what they've done in the past.
All of those checkboxes, right? All of the marketing stuff that we are all told to do all the time.
Whole customer journey stuff, absolutely.
Yeah. And we're like, oh God, I've got 1,000 things to do. I need to be doing all of this, but your platform does it all kind of in one click, or at least you guys help go through that.
Yeah, you build it, you set it up, and then you review it every 6 months rather than, oh shit, it's Monday, what do I send out this week?
Yeah. Gotcha. Cool. So today, this is actually a good segue. Today we're going to be talking about email marketing best practices, right?
Cool.
And we had a brief chat about this before, but I know nothing about email marketing, right? We're a content agency. We create content. We don't necessarily distribute it. We do manage social, but I've got a bunch of 20-year-olds, tweeting, all right? But emails, I send very irregular newsletters to a database of I don't know who. Right. So I'm doing it really badly. So I'm hoping I'm going to learn some stuff today, and I want the listeners to kind of go away and actually start implementing some stuff into their email database, or even if they've not got an email database, right? So let's start at the beginning, right? Is it nowadays, because I can't almost sell against it, is it nowadays still valuable to have an email database?
Oh, definitely is, because it's a resource that you own. And we were talking about Twitter, X is perfect. The time we're recording this, it's just flipped over. Everyone's saying it's a ridiculous idea. It'll probably be back by the end of the year. We don't know. But the point is that all your social media following audiences, network, whatever you want to call it, there's someone sitting probably in California who at a touch of a button could deny you access to that audience tomorrow in 5 seconds. Sure. Right now, they might have done it already.
You're saying like if Twitter was to disappear, which you definitely could do, right?
Yes.
If Twitter was to disappear, you lose all your followers, and therefore you can't contact those people.
Or they could just start charging you to reach more than 50 followers, more than 100 followers.
Yeah, sure.
Or to send, or to
your organic
to
reach
receive
will
messages.
definitely drop through the floor. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're saying that actually it is valuable still nowadays to have an email database because you own that data. Because I look at emails a bit like post. A bit like a handwritten post, right? It feels like it's the old school way of communicating, but actually it's probably more than just communicating with a person, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think the post comparison is legit because post an email, okay, what other, apart from those two, what channels do you know that everyone from your nan to your nephew has?
Oh, that's right.
Like,
actually,
my grandma's not on Threads.
I definitely don't DM her.
No, my sister-in-law doesn't do TikTok. So if I want to reach her, I can post her. I can send her an email. And
that's right. Everyone has an address.
Yes.
A physical address or an email address. It's rare to say, oh no, I don't have an email.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have an email?
I don't think I've met anyone who doesn't have, because even teenagers who aren't using it, as their main medium, they've probably got like a school or college one.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So they know the medium, they're aware of it. And longevity isn't sexy. That's email's fundamental problem.
Yeah.
And it's like, marketers are magpies. We are. And I include myself in that. We love shiny stuff, exciting stuff. Like, oh, we're just doing this new thing that no one else is doing. But email just sits there and it works, and it's worked for 20 years. It's going to work for another 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's dull, but it's effective, and we need to embrace it. I'm not saying don't do Twitter or TikTok or whatever else. Do, but like,
it's another channel, right? Yeah.
The more ways you can play it.
Yeah.
Give yourself the option.
Yeah.
Basically.
So absolutely definitely have the option. So how do people start getting an email database, right? I have a very small database of about 800 people, right? And every time I send an email, it gets less and less, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I got that from having a stand at like an expo, a conference kind of thing, a marketing Expo, and I got all of the attendees' email addresses, and they obviously all opted in to be communicated to.
Sure.
And then they were all kind of marketing professionals. So that was roughly the demographic who were in the audience. And I just used that to kind of every now and then send out either a special offer or just a bit of news or whatever. I don't have any actual strategy, but other than that option there, how can people kind of get an email database kind of going?
So I like gated content personally. It's one that comes up quite. You guys will probably know about.
Absolutely. So for the people who don't know at home, what is gated content?
So gated content is you have to fill in some kind of form to get hold of a video, a white paper, a blog, a guide.
Okay, cool.
Whatever
so
it might
gated, be. To open that gate is about data, right? To put in your email address and say, I want your email address. You can have this PDF or white paper or whatever it is.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the way we think about it, the way I think about it is the value exchange, right? If you've got a form of 600 fields, we want your name, your address, your shoe size, your star sign. No one's filling that out.
No.
So for Spotler, we ask for your email address because that's we want to send you an email. And we deliver the content through the email. So we immediately use that for a valid purpose.
Absolutely. And I think an extra tip on top of that, if you're a B2B company, ask for work email.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Because then you get the business and then you can kind of do a bit of research from there, right?
Yeah. And also worth pointing out, under GDPR, there is a carve out for B2B work emails that you don't have to have confirmed opt-in.
Oh.
So it's a bit like if it's clearly a business domain like capitalcontent.co or spotler.co.uk, like that's a business, that's fine.
Yeah.
The bit where it gets a bit tricky is if you've got a little agency just starting out, they might use Gmail as their email domain. And if they are using that as a business domain, you can send them their consent, but it's on you to prove that it's a business domain. Not
you see kind of like plumbers with at Hotmail or written on the side of the van kind of stuff. Right? They're using that for business, but it's not a business domain. So that it's a great GDPR is the greatest area ever.
We could talk for hours about that. But that's like one of those things that. So we ask for a business email, but be aware that a Gmail might be a business email. So there's a little bit of there's a great, depending on who you're targeting. If you're targeting enterprise level organizations, then that's never going to be an issue. But it's something that's worth.
So gated
knowing.
content, right? That's definitely a good tactic to start generating an email database, right? Yeah. But I think you've got the content that's behind that gate needs to be like you're giving away part of your business.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be really valuable, almost as you feel like you're losing revenue because effectively you're spending that value on attaining data, i.e. email addresses.
Yeah. So you've got to think of it in terms of value exchange.
Yes.
And people know when they put their email password into, not the email password, that would be silly. Yeah. If they put their email address into a form, they know they're going to get sent emails. That's what,
Absolutely.
That's what it's for. So you've got to be able to demonstrate from every single bit of content that we're giving you something that is good. We're not like, oh, haha, it's not actually any content here. We've got your email address now, sucker. That's not going to, you'll lose people immediately.
And as sometimes it's good to, like, when they do opt in, they do click submit, say, hey, I'll just to make you aware, we will be emailing. You can be joking about it. Depending on what your tone of voice is from a business, you can put that response rate, right? So gated content, brilliant. What other tips have we got? Well, actually, it's funny. It's about chicken and egg stuff, right? So you say gated content. Yeah, absolutely. How do you get people to? Do you send an email to get people to send an email? But is it now about cross-pollination from your Insta, from your personal brand over LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, to say, hey, come and look at this gated content?
It is, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's part of the Gator. That's why we built the Gator social tool that we've got in the business now. That it is a good way of reaching people. Just say, oh, hi, this is your content, and our strategy at the moment is social is mainly for initial reach, not conversion as such. Yeah. So we don't gate our blogs.
Sure.
So we've got a body of content. We say, hey, look, we know our stuff. Look, this is interesting. It's kind of top level stuff. It's interesting. And then with the website tracking stuff that we've got, and with that GDPR carve out, what you can do is like, oh, you read this blog about optimizing your subject line. We've also got this downloadable webinar that we think you'd like as well.
Right. Gotcha.
Send them that. Then you've got the form and you can track them through there. So you draw them into the gated content. You have to earn their trust. Let's talk about it, rather than drawing them in and tricking them. That sounds like.
So how do you earn their trust? Because, from a social perspective, if I think about, the stuff that we do, we're telling stories, we're updating daily we're posting 3 times a week over Instagram, for example. I'm personally posting every day on LinkedIn. That kind of stuff is easy to do daily, regularly, finger on the pulse kind of stuff. But with an email, shit, man, if a brand was emailing me every day about a journey or a story or about the business, I'd be like, no, thanks. Can you please stop emailing? Yeah. So there's different conversations to be had on different platforms, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't, your Instagram strategy doesn't work on email and vice versa. I think most of our nurture streams, you get about a 4 or 5 day break. I think a couple of times a week is okay, but it's also it's a
you
reactive type thing.
You got to have some really good content if you're emailing somebody twice a week.
Yeah, and it's got to be
a dedicated audience,
targeted down to
that's right.
Like, because that's the whole point. You kind of earn their trust. Like, oh, you're interested in this topic, and then we go away and do our own research and find out. I'll find if you give us our email address.
Yeah,
I'm going to be on LinkedIn. I'll look at owns an agency business, creative director. The creative side of stuff is more interesting, and obviously director level people look at our tools a very different way to managers or executives do.
Yeah.
Directors, it's a lot more about how we're going to make your marketing team more efficient. How are you going to spend less budget and get more results?
Yeah, sure.
Managers, it's a lot more about how are you going to deliver this campaign that's going to make you look good to your director.
Yeah.
So once you get into it, there's all these different segments and cross streams of how
so
we
is
treat
that
you.
Then the next step, right? Is you've got your form, you've got your gated content, you start posting out over your socials to kind of convert the Facey and the Insta into email addresses. Then you've got this database.
Right.
Let's say you've got 50, 100 people just as a Kickstarter. What's next? What's the best practice there? Do you then? What do you do? Do you send an email to say, "Hey, everybody, welcome to a brand new newsletter," or do you pretend that you're established? Like, if you think from a small business perspective, what's the first step now you've got an early stage database?
The first step that we've got, we call it a Tuesday SEM because when we started doing it, Tuesday was the most effective day.
Yeah. Tuesday's actually, that is right. If you're launching anything, Tuesday's a good day to do. Yeah.
There we go. So that is quite a broad, if we've just got your email address, we'll send oh, hi, thanks for visiting the website. Here are some of our best resources. And we'll send you a couple of blogs, a couple of videos, a couple of white papers because we don't know you yet. And then we'll go, okay, so Gary's actually interested in AI, in subject lines, in automating Insta. Just for
because I've engaged with certain parts in certain emails.
So you'll go through. You'll look at the content that's interesting to you, and we'll go, okay. And then we're starting to build a picture of.
Yeah, you're starting to what do they call it? Enriching the data.
Yeah.
So rather than just Gary at capitalcontent.co, I'm a creative director into AI, for example.
There we go.
And then all of a sudden now you can start not only segmenting, putting these people in different buckets, but then sending the right type of content. And do you always have like an objective? I tend to just send an email, go, oh, hey, this is a piece of work that we're doing. Do you go, I want to try and convert these people, or is it just a matter of brand awareness? Or
there's a bit of a mix of both. We try and run both streams kind of parallel, alternate the weeks of what we're doing. There's a lot of just we're really proud of what we do. We've got a genuinely good product, good people, and a good knowledge base on there. So most of the time, half our objective is get you on the website, get you exploring that content, and then we're pretty sure you go, oh, hang on, I should seriously consider these guys. They actually, they know their stuff.
So let's go back to that then. So you're saying you're taking these people on a journey. And part of that journey is getting them from that email, to your website, right? Where there's like the contact us and the buy now and all that kind of stuff. So there is fundamentally you've got to have your own objective on where you're sending these people. It's not just that you're communicating to them. You've got to have a call to action to go somewhere that converts eyeballs into fundamentally purchases or phone calls or whatever.
Eventually purchases. Yeah. I mean, purchase, we every so often we do a sort of, would you like a demo?
Yeah.
And that's to a very niche group of people because it doesn't work a lot. I think it's 5% of people, generally speaking, are in what you call a buying mode.
Yeah. You've got to be really lucky to get the right people at the right time.
Yeah. The way that I think, I'm going to steal an analogy from a sales trainer I work with. I used to be in sales, was terrible at it. But
guess so. Yeah.
So has this ever happened to you? Sitting at home. Hi, I'm from Domino's. Would you like this pizza?
No,
because it wouldn't work, would it?
No,
or it would only work a tiny percentage of the time.
Yeah.
So here we were, do you want to buy our product? No, not right now. I'm having my coffee. Go away. Yeah. So what you're trying to do, so you do the Domino's thing, you say, we'll leave you a menu. So we know you don't want pizza right now, but when you do want pizza, we got some good pizza.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah. Totally stole it from a sales trainer called Anthony Steers.
Yeah.
But there you go. There's his credit for him.
Yeah.
So hopefully forgive me.
That's great. I like the idea, and I think that's good for small business that don't understand email marketing. It is about leaving a menu through the letterbox and keeping that brand back of mind, or top of mind, should I say, for when they do need it. I do it for personal brand, right? When I'm posting out over LinkedIn, I don't sell my services. I don't say, hey, let me make a video content for you. What I do is I talk about tips and tricks around video content. And then when somebody in their own time thinks I need video content, who should I speak to? I'm that noise that's been going on for 2 years. Right? I've been spinning that plate. And email, I guess, is to complement or in parallel to do that. Do you think, probably going slightly off topic here, could a personal brand have an email database and be emailing people? Or do you feel it's still, it should just be from a business to consumer or business to business?
Yeah, I reckon they can. And
because I've got a couple of mates. It's actually an old boss of mine, Robert Hollis. He's kind of like an entrepreneur. He's like the NZ version of Stephen Bartlett, right?
Right.
And he is this personal brand. He started his personal brand years ago and it became very successful, still is very successful now. And he has a email newsletter from a personal brand. It's not like he runs a business. It's just him as an entrepreneur. Exactly. And I think sometimes that's easier to be able to have a lot more emails or tell a lot more stories from a person than it is a business or a logo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because email, for all that it's a mass thing, email is quite one-to-one.
Yeah.
Isn't it? As a person. And actually, I've got the same thing. There's an agency called White Label Comedy who I've sort of built up a friendship with their creative director and their founder. And I don't have a relationship with the rest of the company. It's him, it's Adam that I think of, and he signs off with, they're not actually written by him. No. But all the emails, they're signed off to him. They come from him in the header. It's his email address that comes in. So I would say that a personal brand within a business brand absolutely works.
Yeah, you know what? And it's funny, you see that from like, energy companies, and it's from like the chief technology officer. Yeah, and they put their, put their signature on the bottom of it, and it's like, wow, thanks for trying to be personal, but you made £1 billion in the last 6 months.
Yeah, it seems unlikely.
I prefer a phone call. Yeah. Okay, so we have got gated content. As a kind of a funnel to capture those email addresses. You have cross-pollinated from your social media accounts to kind of convert those followers into data that you actually own the email addresses, right? So then we have started to send them emails maybe once a week about progress or, really kind of keeping that brand awareness. What's the next step? What should you be looking at? I'm assuming reporting is quite a big thing here because you want to be able to see what people are doing with these emails. It's great. We've spoken about how to get the email and how to send the email out, but how do we refine? How do we make it work for us as a small business? Huge question, right?
Yes. If I knew the answer, I'd be running my own business.
If I knew the answer, I'd have an AI platform monitoring emails.
It's where you've got to kind of take the bulk of the data and then apply it to an individual. It's like the quant analysis, I suppose, is the technical.
Sure.
Like if someone reads 3 blogs, then downloads a white paper, then visits your pricing or your demo page, but doesn't form fill.
Yeah.
They're probably at the point that you can pass it over to someone to actually give them a call because they've got that sustained interest. And it is peaks and troughs. I know people don't like sales funnels for some reason.
They seem quite 90s.
They're not, because they're not linear. Like a linear funnel is very 90s. I think the idea of, there are stages, they go down, but they go down and up and down and up and they drop out completely and come back in at the bottom. And like it's not an A to B to C, Jen. It's an A to C to D to wherever else. Like any model that you simplify too much is going to stop working. Yeah. But you've got to take that kind of, you've got to look at the broad spectrum of the activity. Like, of all the customers that we've had, where have they gone? What's the first touch point? How many touch points have been? Like, what was the last thing they did before they went on to that, yes, I want a demo, or before they called into you? And then you try and spot people that are doing that. And it won't work all the time, but it works enough of the time that you convert the target that you want to convert, because no one's converting every single website visitor.
No, that'd be nice.
If you're doing that, call me.
Because I need help. You've obviously worked out the secret. So it's looking at the data, right? And I think that kind of goes with any type of marketing, right? You've really got to understand where these emails are going, how people are interacting, who these people are, and actually niche down, really segment down these emails. And don't just have one newsletter like I do, have multiple newsletters for multiple different people. But what about the actual email itself? Let's get some tips and tricks in around what would you say? Let's start at the subject.
Right.
What are some best practices when creating an email to go? Let's just say it is just a generic newsletter going out to whoever to kind of help enrich the data. I know. What are we putting in the subject title?
We did a whole webinar on this last week, so I'm ready for this.
Great.
We looked at a load of weird stuff, and a lot of the stuff that works, people aren't doing. It's you can get ahead of the game by doing tiny little things, like adding some personalization. By which you mean, like usually a person's first name is the most one that I do. Hi Gary, we've got this new webinar coming out that we think you'll enjoy.
Yeah, in the subject line.
Yeah. So we've looked at. I mean, this is even narrowing down a bit. We looked at subject lines that would performing the best. So 2% is your UK average click-through rate for email. So we looked at any subject lines every day for the last year or so that have beaten that benchmark.
Yeah.
Within that data, what can we see? And in that data, in the top performing ones, 12% of them use personalization.
Right. And so even though it seems overused and obvious that they haven't physically written my name, it still does actually work.
It does. It's a 50% improvement in your click-through rate from 18% to 24% on average.
Even the basics there.
Yeah.
Do that. Absolutely
put a name. And obviously you've got to have the data right, because the only thing worse than not personalization is bad personalization.
Yeah. And actually, you're definitely right there. That whole insert first name thing. Oh God. That's it.
Everyone's got a horror story, haven't they?
And I think the other thing is you get kind of like personalization, the automation through LinkedIn messaging, because I get it all the time. I know when it's an automated message, but some people have an emoji in their name.
Yeah, and it pulls
to kind
it
of trick
through.
it. Yeah, and you're like, now I spot any type of, but actually with emails, you're very rare to put an emoji in your name when you fill out the form, right? So I think you kind of get away from it.
And also, but then you're pulling it into an email platform, so you've got a chance to sanitize it before you do that. So if you scraped it from LinkedIn, which there are tools to do, you can look at it and go, hang on, you're pretty sure he hasn't got a hashtag on his name.
A lion emoji. So what else can you put in the subject? For us, what's worked well is plus video in brackets. The open rate shoots up because everyone wants to kind of look at a video more so than reading text.
But what about clicks to actually landing on the website?
My average click-through is about 7.5%. Which is not bad. That's pretty good. My database is quite small and it is only marketing managers. But what we do is actually in the email itself is a screenshot. I don't know if we're allowed to do this. A screenshot of a video, partly run through with a play button in the middle, as if it was a video embedded in the email. And I'll just keep playing this video and actually redirect you to the webpage, right?
I think people know that you cut. I mean, there is AMP for email, which I'm still getting my head around, which at some point, it's only works for Gmail and a couple of others, but at some point you will be able to embed videos in emails. Yeah. That's well far off and I can't talk about it because it doesn't work for any of the clients that we send to.
Right.
I think people know. And if you say, we've put a video in and there's a button, people are going to expect it. I think the subject line expectation setting is the key thing.
Yes.
Like if your subject line and your content line up, people go, okay, cool. Yeah. If it's like, £300 and it's a video of buy our service and you'll make £100 profit. Like people go, no, that's trick of it. They don't like it. If you deliver what you promise, then you should be good to go. I mean, actually, one of the things we find from a lot of the data is, and the thing that I always come back to on my webinars when I talk about it is test this stuff. Our audience is very specific. We're marketing people who market stuff to marketing people. Yeah. So we're in this really weird little niche.
Yeah, that's right.
Like we kind of are our own audience, but we're not everyone.
And you have to drink your own champagne.
Yeah, and the people that you'll be sending to others. So every time we do a lot of split test reporting. We do the subject line analysis that we've done. I say, look, this is what we found. So go and test it because there'll be some weird stuff going on. Yeah. The other one I found that surprised me a little bit, emojis are bad in subject lines.
In a subject line? Yeah. Right, okay.
They actually
deter people. In terms of like sendability, like technically, or do you mean people just aren't opening it?
No, in terms of click-through rate from people who successfully receive the email.
Okay.
It across we broke it down into kind of functional emails, event promotion, newsletters and salesy sends, and every single category, emojis perform worse.
Right, wow.
And actually, we looked at the data, and these are all relevant emojis. It's not just, dropping a smiley face in for no reason. It's house builders using houses. It's using stars if you're asking for a rating or
whatever. Yeah,
and it doesn't make a positive difference in any case that I found.
Yeah, what's the biggest mistake people are making with email marketing?
Sending the same thing to everybody. And I know you've just said that you do that.
I do that.
So
I make that mistake every week.
Get out.
So, one email database.
And if you've got a database of 100 people, then it's probably okay. Yeah. But our database is, I can't even tell you how big it is. Yeah. I mean, some of our segments are 20,000 plus people. Right. So our total database must be over 100,000.
Yeah. And you're definitely not sending one email to all of those people.
That would never land. That would be relevant. It'd be cool. Something for everybody is something for nobody. But it's like, if you're trying to appeal to all the different segments, you got nothing.
Yeah.
Because they're all different.
Yeah, you do really need to niche down. I've learned loads. I'm about to go and clean my database right now.
Excellent.
And start segmenting it. So how can people get in touch with yourself or at Spotler?
So our website is spotler.co.uk. I'm richard.wall at spotler.co.uk. I'm quite active on LinkedIn. Cool. That's why I think I found you originally and how we started this whole journey out. And as I said, come and have a look around. I don't want you to book a demo straight away. I mean, if you're looking for a marketing automation platform,
I've got some gated content.
Go straight away, book it immediately. But otherwise, come have a look around the website. Just let us show you that we know our stuff.
Yeah.
And then when you're looking for a better platform, we'll be right there.
Cool, man. Hey, look, thanks very much for your time. Listeners, thanks very much for tuning in. This has been the Blueprint Podcast. You can get all the other episodes wherever you get your podcast injection from. Also YouTube, so don't forget to like and subscribe. My name's Gary. I've been your host. We've had Richard from Spotler. Thanks very much, Richard.
Thank you.
And we'll see you again soon. Cheers.